For the past 2 centuries, progress in the modern world has been powered by the stored energy of ancient sunlight, carbon. First as coal, then even deeper as oil and gas. But along with progress is a growing concern for the environmental and human costs of burning these fuels. The scientific community has reached strong consensus that Earth's climate is warming faster than at any time in the last 10,000 years, and that we have played a major role in that climatic change. Hard evidence lies in the rise of sea levels, fluctuations in the seasons, increased incidence of droughts, storms, and floods, and significant threats to public health.
If we don't start making fundamental changes in our energy and other systems now, the risk that I'm talking about is almost unavoidable. Because we've already locked in a significant amount of climate change.
After a distinguished career in government, William Nitze is now chairman of the Climate Institute and an advisor to this project.
So there is a real premium over the next 20 years in beginning to make a really profound transformation, a decarbonization of our energy systems, and much greater attention to greenhouse gas emissions from man-made sources more generally.
But while one considers the causes and effects of carbon pollution, 3 other factors are actively at play. First, dependency on foreign oil poses obvious security risks for the citizens of North America and Europe. The second factor is that 1/3 of Earth's population still doesn't benefit from the basics that a fossil fuel economy has offered us, but they want to.
People around the world want what we have in the United States. They want a safe environment for the children. They want to turn on the tap and have clean water come out of the tap. They want to get in a car and drive it away, and they want to have electricity in their homes.
Jeff Leonard is CEO of the market-leading Global Environment Fund in Washington, D.C.
If you go to China and you see the amount of soot that people have to deal with in their urban surroundings, they are concerned about those issues. And so if given the choice and given the opportunity to take advantage of technology and technological change and have cleaner, greener, efficient forms of energy available, of course they will take those opportunities.
But just to make things more complicated, the world's supply of fossil fuels is finite. And that third factor was one of the things that got these people together. The Global Environment Fund manages a number of funds, targeting companies in environmental quality, human health, and sustainable resource management. When Stanley Fields approached GEF to help manage his new Emergent Energy Fund concept, focused solely on clean energy, the fit was perfect.
My trigger for being concerned and really devoting the rest of my life to the reduction of carbon was 9/11. And when that happened, I became very concerned about energy. And I thought, you know, really the reason that happened was about oil. And I knew that there were smarter ways to get our energy other than the combustion of carbon.
One of the premises that GEF was formed on in 1990 was that we were entering into a long-term 50 to 100-year transition in society where technology would dramatically change the sources and means of energy production, generation, transmission in our society. And in fact, we saw that during that time period, we would probably evolve through the replacement of the incandescent light bulb, the replacement of the internal combustion engine, and the end of combustion-based power generation as we know it today. At the same time, while we're dreamers about that, we also saw that there was a need to focus incrementally on the technological change that would gradually set down the tracks of that long-term evolution.
You want to look for not so much building a wind farm as finding the guy that's got the next generation alternator that's going to make that windmill go from 4 cents a kilowatt hour to 3.5. And he's got the patent on it. And that's the company you want to invest in. See, nobody's ever heard of it, nobody's going to care, but they're going to revolutionize wind energy.
Our job is to kick the tires and to find the flaws. And there are many times when, in fact, we say, this is a great company, but it may not be a great investment.
Unfortunately, Americans and even Canadians and Europeans and Japanese You know, they may love green technologies, but they're going to say, we need electricity. And we're not going to do without. And that's why it's so important that we provide capital, that we provide other incentives, that we provide support for these emerging technologies to let them get established so there is a real option in the marketplace.
You know, countries like India and China are going to start manufacturing, consuming vast amounts of power. But if they go down the road that we've gone to achieve our lifestyle in this country, we'll be left with air pollution, fouled water, toxic chemicals, diseases that you've never even heard of, and we will create a filthy, toxic world. And so we can't let that happen. And yet they have every right to seek the same kind of life we have.
There's a whole world of opportunity out there in the Chinas and the Indias. Think about this. China today is growing in double-digit percentages the number of vehicle owners, car owners, every year. And yet China has not even reached the level of per capita car ownership that we had when Henry Ford rolled the first Model T off the production line. So we think that there are tremendous opportunities to work around the world to provide cleaner and greener energy sources that also can achieve very substantial rates of return. Over the years, we've built a firm here which has about 20 professionals. We have 5 of our investment team have achieved the distinction of Chartered Financial Analyst, which is a very significant term in the investment world, CFAs. We have CPAs on our staff, we have MBAs, and all of our senior managing director team has had more than 25 years each of private equity investment experience all over the world. We've always invested in our own funds. We've put a substantial amount of our own company's net worth, and we've built our own company's balance sheet by investing in our own investments. And our belief is that we should and do only get paid when our investors make money. And in that sense, our investors' money is our money. And we've found that we invest with a very different mentality when you're focused on not thinking of it as people say in the business, actually. They actually have a saying for it. It's called OPM, other people's money, and somehow it's different when you're using other people's money. But for GEF, it's our money, and it's our children's money, and it's our legacy for the future. And from 1998 through the end of 2003, in the audited financial statements of all the funds that GEF manages, we have substantially outperformed the global benchmarks that investors would look to for rates of return.
As environmentally sound investments continue to deliver positive results, the stage is set for a significant redeployment of capital into projects that deliver efficient and cleaner forms of energy. The Emergent Energy Fund presents an opportunity for knowledgeable investors to benefit from the introduction worldwide of renewable clean energy generation and the new technologies that make them work. In closing, the fund is offered on the sponsor's firm belief that there is a large unmet demand for private equity investments in the clean energy sector, that for investors who participate in a well-managed, diversified pool of such investments, there is potential for attractive returns, and that if such investments are successful, significant environmental, socioeconomic, and health-related benefits will ensue for all stakeholders and all citizens.